What's good, everyone? Welcome back. This is a new episode of the Myles High Pod. This is Myles Munroe Jr., your host. As always, the purpose and vision of this pod is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist. Always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. All right? Today we got a good pod. Today's topic, what I want to cover today is why fitness matters, right? And I wouldn't be able to do this pod any justice, so I brought a friend. Of mine. We've been friends for a couple of years now. He's a personal trainer, someone that I've worked with in the past and will definitely do some more work with in the future. It's none other than Mr. Theo Pyfrom. Theo, welcome, man.
Welcome.
Let's clap him up. Clap him up.
Good to be here.
Clap him up. So, when we walked in today on set, the crew and I was having discussions, and some members of the crew was talking about why they're getting old and they back hurting and their knees hurting and all these aches and pains that they got. So I was like, this is the perfect topic for today. Mm-hmm. So I think not only us will be able to benefit from it, but our listeners as well. So Theo, let's I want to start from the beginning, right? How did you get into fitness?
Fitness started for me, I would say its culmination was my 12th grade. Last year of high school, in high school, you want to be the buff boy, you want to be the jock, but it didn't start in that particular way for me. It was, I think, they were doing a powerlifting group, and I kind of went into that, and that's what started the fire for me.
Okay, yeah. So it wasn't the fact that you wanted to look buff or good or whatever.
No, it was. I think I would have had a lot more drive if it was led by that, but it was a slow pace.
Gotcha. I think mine is a little different. I started lifting, so I was on the track team back in high school, and then I got my coach, and we started gymming. I'd say probably in 10th grade. That's when my coach started taking the team to the gym, to start lifting seriously. Yeah. And maybe when I got into grade 11, so a year later, I started to see some changes in my body, and I was like, hold on now. Yeah. Kind of looking a little, girls started tilting their head like, that's Charo, So I was like, I can stick to this. And, I've been my fitness journey started there, and I've been kind of on my journey ever since. So for you, it started with powerlifting. And how did that competition go?
It went well. We never really ever got to have a competition, but, I learned a lot from it. The guy's name that was head of it all was Blue. That's what they called him. I didn't know his passport name, but a lot of people may know him by Blue. But he ran the sporting complex. They had a little gym there at the gymnasium. I think it's broken down now, but it was really nice. A few guys and I would go there after school and pump weights. All
right. So after that, you started to lift with the guys and whatnot. And then what was the next step?
Graduated high school. And of course I wanted to keep that fire going. So I joined Club One. Club One, it was then.
So that's one of our local gyms here in the Bahamas.
Bali. But now it's Club One. So I got a membership there, working out. And one day, I was like, I should work here. I talked to the manager, hey, y'all hiring? Fortunately, we are. So that landed me my first gym job.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What year was that?
That was 2012.
So 2012. Okay. So you started working out at the gym. Were you training at that point?
At the time, I was mostly doing front desk attendance. Making the smoothies, but then a little bit into it, they started to push me into doing some classes and training, and then it just evolved from there. Okay.
And so you got into training. That's how you got into training. Yeah. And then did certifications follow shortly after?
Shortly after,
Okay. And what certifications do you have?
I did ISSA. That's a personal trainer certification. Then I did IFPA, same certification. And then I did a few add-ons. Precision nutrition, TRX, suspension training.
Okay. I hate the TRX, especially working out with Theo.
It's good.
But you are certified, so you're multiple certifications in the field. Okay, cool. So talk to me about working at the gym Club One. I know a little bit about your story, but I want, everyone else to kind of get into it. So you started at Club One, became a trainer, started training people there at Club One.
I mostly did classes there.
Just classes, so the larger classes.
Large classes, first timers, they want to come in, get a free session. I'm that guy.
Okay, and from those classes, you later transitioned into collabing with someone else and starting another gym, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. How did that opportunity come about?
Actually, all right, so I'm in the gym, and this colleague of mine was like, hey, let's get this popping. So I basically branched out and started doing a little more outdoor boot camps.
Okay.
And eventually that led to us separating from Club One. And I got deeper into the personal training aspect of my journey.
And you joined that gym. I think that gym was called MacFit at the time, right?
Yeah.
So you started personal training at MacFit?
Started personal training there. That's actually where I did the first certification.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got certified. You were in the process of getting certified.
Yeah.
When you started at MacFit.
Correct.
Okay. And how long, from the move from Club One to MacFit, how long were you there? How long were you training at MacFit?
About maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
A year and a half.
Okay. And then, so I assume you were able to build a certain level of clientele?
Yeah. Definitely. Just a reputation and most importantly, experience.
Sure.
Experience with different classes of people. Large groups, and it was awesome. It was a nice experience.
All right. And then, so transitioning from now MacFit, you kind of branched off, wanted to do your own thing, right? And tell us about that story.
So I, of course, branched out from there, and I started what was called Wolf Fitness at the time. And then, that was the beginning of me alone as a personal trainer, out there handing out flyers, trying to build my own population of clients.
Right.
And it actually went well. I was persistent. I was consistent. And I never gave up. I went out there every day. And sure enough, I built that clientele. And it was awesome. I was able to level up from there.
Yeah. So I became aware of you after you already started Wolf Fitness, right? And Wolf is a quite a unique acronym that you have. What's the meaning behind Wolf?
It's called Wolf Fitness because the acronym is witnessing our lives flourish.
Dope.
It's dope.
It's dope. Witnessing our lives flourish.
I love it.
So I know a lot of people used to call you Wolf, and I my assumption was because you had you still have a beard, so I thought it's you look like a wolf, or your spirit animal is a wolf or whatnot. So, but I finally know that it's an acronym, witnessing our lives flourish. Yeah. All right, dope. So you opened Wolf Fitness.
That was in 2016.
16, okay.
Years,
And then I know you eventually developed and got your own spot, training facility, and you had folks used to come and train or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. And then I don't know if it was at that period or a little before, but you got into, you don't like to say bodybuilding, but technically bodybuilding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No jockey though.
Actually, no jockey. No, sir. So the bodybuilding or the competing, that happened with being at Club One.
Oh, so a couple years before Wolf Fitness.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So how'd you get into stage competitions?
Well, we actually held a competition at Club One. It was amongst the members and the staff. It was like an six-pack abs competition at the time. Man, I was hella ripped because I lived Papal track. I had no car then.
So you used to jog to the gym?
I had to.
Okay. So Papal track is about maybe 45 minutes jog?
Yeah, that's a run.
And you used to jog home at the end of the day too?
No. Catch a bus or something.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. So but jog to the gym in the morning.
Open up 5 a.m.
God bless your heart, man. Yeah. I couldn't do it. But it's so that's how you were able to develop your physique.
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, man, you got it. You might as well just jump on this nationals trip, and I did it, and it was good. I won some competitions, and then I actually competed in a few competitions in the U.S.
Okay.
Prestige Crystal Cup, got a second place in that, and that was a big accomplishment for me.
Yeah, so you're quite an accomplished bodybuilder or fit, what's the term for what you actually
Men's physique.
Men's physique.
No
there you
jockey.
go. Okay. Just the knee length pants.
Exactly. Yeah. So like beach for like Baywatch.
My wife saying, "What's a jockey?" Everyone know what jockey is, right?
No, not our audience, not everyone.
So if you don't know,
famous call it jockey, right?
A jockey is actually a brand.
yeah, it's a
too.
brand. But I mean, I guess yeah, you're right. But for those who don't know what a jockey is or what jockeys are, you know the bodybuilding competitions when you can see these buff guys and they got on these little pants, these little like bikini bottom pants.
Yeah.
We call them jockeys in the bombers. So that's what we're referring to when we say no jockey, because obviously, you know, it's a running joke like you on stage and jockey, bro, like come on. You know, but okay, so no jockey, men's physique.
Men's physique.
God did fairly well in that one, won some competitions, came runner-ups in some competitions, but that didn't continue.
It didn't continue.
Why? What was the reason?
Honestly, the preparation is taxing on the mind and the body.
Bro.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of focus, and a lot of money to be able to sustain that level of discipline
absolutely,
without receiving
instant
reward.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, and the medal isn't enough. Bro. We need some cash back or something. Like, I'm spending thousands of dollars on supplements, and you know the worst part about it is when you stop,
everything goes
out.
Yep, everything goes. And that's one of the reasons I don't pay too much attention to like guys that are like in that space of fitness, because like, bro, you got to be diligent on what you eat. Your supplements, you got to take them daily, like
on time.
You can't miss anything. You can't like splurge. I mean, you could have cheat days, but like them cheat days are few and far between, right? Because you have to maintain a certain physique. And kudos to you guys that do that. Man, you guys are super disciplined, man. I couldn't.
Yeah.
But so you know, didn't continue in men's fitness, needed some cash, decided to open your own training facility, Woe Fitness, which was in 2016.
2016.
So how long were you like running Woe Fitness? The
facility
business?
stayed open for 3 years. Okay. 3 years strong.
Nice.
Up until the end, actually.
Right.
But unfortunately, I decided to shut it down and start fresh.
So you didn't just decide to shut it down.
No.
Let's talk about everything.
Get into the meat of it.
So you started Woe Fitness, and then you had some setbacks, right? One major big setback. Let's talk about that. So we're at the part of the story where, you know, Theo was able to open a business, become successful in the business. And as always, like life doesn't always go as planned. You're met with crisis. You're met with some conflicts, obstacles, and all these things you have to overcome. And as you know, like I talk about these type of things on the pod all the time, and I like to bring stories like this on so that, you know, we all can see that it happens to all of us. And I like to get like the turnaround stories with everyone, like how do like what the situation is, like what happened, and then how does, you know, the mindset and the effort that it takes to make it out of it. So your situation, Theo, let's talk about it.
Where do we start?
At the beginning.
Okay. So, wow, there's so much.
No. So just like the setback itself, because I don't want to say. I want you to say it.
Yeah. Okay. So there were a few setbacks actually. One was a partnership gone wrong. You know, where I was basically the one putting all of the cash, and of course, you know, that's a lot on one person with running a flourishing business, but still having to pay the bills. You know, you got a family at home, all of that, and then trying to build another business without sufficient funds coming in. That's a lot.
Right.
COVID happened, and then I think the most interesting or significant part of it was my spiritual journey, or my spiritual, as people would call it, the awakening.
Right.
It was
But that came after what I'm trying to get at. So Theo, you got into an accident.
How how could I forget this?
How could you forget the
can't
accident?
forget that.
That's like a major part of the story.
But listen, that was before I opened Wolf Fitness Club. So that was 2015.
Oh, okay.
That was
So
2015.
you missing the meat of the story, but
Hold on, let's rewind.
okay, so yeah, let's take it back. So
Take it back.
before Wolf Fitness happened,
Yeah.
you got into a major car accident.
Yeah. I
Almost lost
Need
your life.
for Speed
Yep.
from my teenage life up even till now. But
All you
tone it down.
young guys out there, y'all listen to this part of the story who
Yeah.
like to be out there in these sports cars, like speeding on the streets.
Yeah. It's
Doesn't always end well.
no. So I had a car accident in 2015
Mm-hmm.
in a Toyota MR2. That's mid-engine, right-hand drive, trunk in the front, no airbags, wooden steering wheel.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Listen, I was traveling east, going past Treasure Cove, and I was flying.
He was punching it, yep.
Turbo spooling, blow off, wastegate open, and a car just came right out. Boom,
Out the corner.
right there, T-bone.
Wow.
I was out, lights out.
And what injuries did you sustain?
So the whole right side of my body was mangled
Jeez.
from head to toe. So I had broken this eye socket, the fracture right there from when my face hit the steering wheel. Luckily, I had the seatbelt. Seatbelt saved lives.
Okay.
I had the seatbelt on. So I broke the
Right eye socket.
and the maxilla, which is the upper jaw, that had a fracture. So they had to, peel my upper lip back and go in there and staple that back together.
Wow.
Lost some teeth in the process. And of course, they have some good dentists where I went to and got those replaced. And then now wrist fractures. This finger is disabled, so the middle finger doesn't bend past that.
Wow. Okay.
I don't really find it as a setback because I still have, good working order of all the other fingers. The kneecap went right into the key, the ignition. That broke the kneecap in half, the patella. And then, I guess because it's a small car,
So it crushed your ankle.
my ankle was just mangled in there
Wow.
too. And then my hip had some pain too. That's actually what I really felt laying on the hospital bed. I was like, my hip. I felt that, So yeah, the whole right side of my body, I was in the cast from my face, right arm, right knee,
Wow.
right hip go down.
So you were met with a crisis, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Almost losing your life.
Life.
And I could imagine, laying on that bed, I guess being upset. Maybe someone pulled out in front of you. Wasn't 100% your fault. Could have been not speeding for a little bit, but essentially, someone kind of pulled out in front of you. So I can imagine like the mindset that you had at the time, like, man, like, how do I, recover? What is this recovery going to look like? How long did your recovery take?
Recovery, it's an ongoing recovery journey. Actually, even 8 years later, but initially the recovery process took about 3 months.
Okay. All right.
And my initial thought while I was laying there, I was like, damn, I'm alive. Like, I was thankful more than anything. Like, forget the car. How are the other guys? Like, I'm alive. That was the most important thing there because I knew it with the mindset that I have. I knew I could bounce back.
Okay. So this was before Wolf Fitness started. You were still at Maxford at the time. In between.
Yeah.
So you
right in between the transition.
Right. So you had a falling out with
exactly
with your people at Markfit. Left Markfit. This was in between. So you had an accident.
Yes.
So like, what was the thought process of having that accident and then deciding to start Wolf Fitness, to start your own business?
Well, my mind was okay. Like, man, they got me in this cast. I love training. I love being active. I love helping people. But what do? I can't do much now. So you know what? When I get this cast off, that's it. I'm going off. The cast comes off 12 weeks later. I can't move my legs. The doctor's like, all right, Mr. Pyfrom, let's see what you got. I'm looking at the leg, like, let's go. And it's not moving.
Not moving, wow.
So then therapy. Had to do a few weeks of therapy, but with me being a fitness trainer at the time, I took the principles that she taught and I was able to implement those into my daily routine and help speed up the process. And yeah.
So you decided to just start Wolf Fitness? Like that was just...
I decided to, take things up a notch. I got back into my training on the go, and eventually, found a spot in the IP. I had the funds there too to help out. So I went in and I started the club.
Cool. And then started building up your clientele, and Wolf Fitness was flourishing for 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Now then, after 3 years, 2019, did the spiritual awakening happen before 2020 or?
Before,
was it? Okay,
yes.
so
Before
let's talk about the spiritual awakening.
The spiritual awakening was, it was crazy, y'all. I wish I had the voice notes and all of that stuff, but this was literally in between. It was like right before Dorian hit the Bahamas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. I know you guys may hear voice notes and stuff like that where people are talking about, oh, this and that. I literally had, I didn't see anything to call it a vision, but it was like something took over me. And I just so happened to call my Grammy and, talk to her about it because she's the most spiritual person that I know. So I call her. She so happened to record the voice note, and in the voice note, believe it or not, I said that this storm was going to come.
To the Bahamas.
To the Bahamas.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
And sure enough, 2 weeks later, boom.
Dorian hits.
And
if you know, I think we talked about this on the pod already. Dorian was one of the strongest hurricanes to ever hit the Bahamas, Category 5. A lot of devastation, especially in our northern islands. So that's the hurricane that Theo is referring to.
Yeah, exactly.
So pretty crazy.
It was crazy.
And then how did the spiritual awakening affect you personally?
Prior to that happening, I went on a fast. So I flushed all of basically everything processed out of my body. So it was like my mind was more receptive. I don't know what it did.
Not open to.
But I went plant-based. All whole food, raw, whatever, I could find that was natural. And then this thing happened. And then, at the end of it all, after Dorian, I was like, Lord, life can be gone just as simple as that.
Snap of a finger.
Everything you worked for in life, everything you ever dreamed of, it can be taken away just like that. So I had to now search for something that was bigger than me.
Right. Purpose.
All my life, purpose. All of my life, I looked up to men. Not that it's a bad thing to have, leaders and, people that you aspire to be like, or people to guide you, but I looked up to these people to say, oh, they can save me. But I knew that I needed a better savior.
Absolutely.
I needed to know. I knew about God, because my grandma was big in the church, still is, but I never really opened my heart to receive personally.
Right.
I never really sat down, opened my Bible, read, and got a relationship with God, or so that experience forced me and gave me more encouragement to go ahead and seek God for myself. Started to read the Bible more, and that actually encouraged me to start over, and that's what
pushed you into
cutting, just stepping back for a minute,
right.
Shut it down, because I was deep into things that would seem natural and normal for the world.
Sure.
But when I look at it through the lens of the Bible, I'm like, bro, I gotta step back a little bit.
Because you had a successful business at the time.
Was super successful.
Doing great. And saw that, man, this isn't fulfilling me internally. So I need to cut this off and start afresh.
I got to start fresh.
And right when you made that decision, 2020 happened.
2020 happened right there.
Theo, you might have been the cause of a couple of worldly and global disasters, bro.
I'm saying.
But that's how God works, man. Like He hits us and everything seems to just align. Like when we're supposed to make moves, right? 2020 happened. You shut your Wolf Fitness business down.
Shut it down. My daughter was born in 2019 November.
Going into 2020.
I had a newborn at the same time.
Sure. And then in 2020, you started 2 new businesses.
Started 2, yes.
Right. So we got into meal prep.
Plant-based meal prep.
And then you got into something that is super crazy to me.
Yeah.
Theo takes cars apart and puts them back together. or like assemble, like you can buy an old Jeep in particular, like a Jeep Wrangler, like an old school Jeep Wrangler. And if you want him to kind of take it all apart and put it back together and give you something like that's brand new, Theo's your guy.
West Coast custom exhibit type thing, like Trip My Ride. Like,
so you started, you got more into it, because I wouldn't say you started because you've been doing it over the years. But you got more into it because everyone was home, you had the time to do it, and you
walk down. I mean, what else could you do?
Sure.
You know, and as a kid, I would just pick up random things, find a glue gun and make sculptures and figure eights. So I would actually say that that's a gift.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, from childhood. So I was able to then take it to a different level and start making some money.
Because you developed your gift. See, guys, everything that we talk about on this pod just comes together.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it. Another thing we discuss in the pod. So it's just, you know, and that's why, you know, like these type of stories, like I like to be told so that, you know, people could relate to different aspects of, you know, what is being said.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2020 happens, the world is shut down. You started a plant-based meal prep business, which did like super well.
Yeah, it did well. That kept the food on the table, kept the lights on. You know, savings up. That was awesome. Got a number of Jeeps on the road for some friends, some clients,
and then one for yourself as well.
Amen. Yeah,
which is pretty dope. And then you decided to rebrand, right? So instead of Whoa Fitness, you launched Level Up
Fitness Club.
Sure.
Yes,
and
Club.
What sparked that? What sparked the name change?
Well, I just wanted a different vibe, a different, you know, type of energy behind it. And Level Up was kind of like almost the motto for Wolf Fitness Club. So I basically brushed the Wolf Fitness Club aside. I didn't want to make it all about me too.
Sure.
You know, people started to call me Wolf, and like, you know, I even though I'm the owner or the main trainer, founder, I didn't want to take that much attention to myself. So I think Level Up, that was more worldwide, and you can apply that to every single aspect of your life. You know,
and I like this part of the conversation, right? Because, you know, you want to level up physically in your fitness, but you also want to level up mentally. You want to level up spiritually. You want to level up professionally, right? All of these different aspects of our lives, and I think that encompasses everything that the name of what you're trying to do is about. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Cool. So that's good. A good bit of your story. I think, you know, that tells us a lot of you know, how you started and how you got to this point here, right? So my question for you now is, why does fitness matter? That's the topic that we're discussing. And I want to get your personal take on why fitness matters.
Okay. So for me, fitness matters because the bodies were meant to move. We're living beings, and actually this is good too, because I have a background with restoration and vehicles. There's a very close comparison.
Sure.
Think about it. Can I break it down real quick?
Absolutely.
Let's go. All right. We'll think about the blood. We can compare that to engine oil. We can go for sweat. That's coolant. We can go from joints. That's your suspension. You got your eyes, your headlights. We've got your windshield wipers, eyelid. I mean, it goes technical.
Absolutely. Got you.
Maintenance wise, if you don't maintain a car, it's going to break down regardless, by default.
Sure.
A lot of people like to keep cars, and I've run into them all the time. Oh, I'm not selling this car, but the car just sits there and rots.
Right.
Likewise, if we as human beings don't move our body and maintain them, by default, they deteriorate.
Yeah. So, you know, like those cars on the road that you see that's like smoking all the time, like they got this heavy smoke coming out the back. Oil probably need to change. Car probably ain't been serviced in months or years even.
No maintenance.
Right? No maintenance is being done. It's similar to your bodies, right?
Similar to the body. And fitness is necessary because I think all of us, I can speak for everybody, no cap. We just want to live long, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to live long. That should be everybody's main goal. So our first obligation in life should be maintaining our health. Fitness is key in there. I've actually got another acronym. It's called New Start.
Okay.
The N for nutrition, the E for exercise, the W for water, the S for sunlight, the T for temperance, the A for air, the R for rest, and the T for trust.
Trust. Okay. Dope. New start.
That's all keys, all in one.
Okay. And, I think I want to point out here that in order for us to, like, when we discover purpose, right? I think the journey in life is for us to discover purpose. But it's going to be impossible for us to fulfill purpose if we're not healthy, right? If we have aches and pains and have to go to the hospital or have to deal with like diseases and things that hinder us from, pursuing and accomplishing purpose, right? And, that's where fitness comes in. That's where our health comes in. That's where ensuring that we're taking care of the things we need to take care of physically, mentally, and spiritually within ourselves, so that we're able to perform, right, and fulfill purpose.
That's fact.
Absolutely. Okay.
That's your check engine, like.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, if you feel something, go, hey, my knee or my back ain't feeling good.
Yeah.
Same thing with a car. Listen, this light me in. Now you have to go ahead and fix the problem.
Yeah.
You can't just ignore it or else.
Sometimes you got to go to a professional, right? Like my wife drives, like when she's driving and the light comes on. First thing she does, takes a picture of it. Baby, what this is? This light on? I don't know what this means. Or she Googles it and sends me what Google tells her, and I'm like, yep, look what you're doing. Like how you drive it, you know what I mean? And it's all about understanding what these signs mean, what these lights mean, what aches and pains in your body, what they all mean.
Yeah, it goes deep.
Yeah, so getting regular physicals and checkups and all of that, make sure you're moving and continuing to be mobile. Absolutely important.
Yep.
Right.
You say prevention is better than
cure. Yeah, 100% of the time.
Makes
so
sense.
I want to, this segment of the pod, I want to try and dispel a couple of myths. Right. There are a number of myths that's been circulating for years, a lot of my lifetime. That I wanted to just get your take on, right? We're just going to go through a few of them pretty quickly. All right. So let's start with breakfast, right? They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I think, in my opinion, I wouldn't say it's the most important, but I think it's necessary.
Right.
The way I see it is you should eat breakfast like a king, and that doesn't really mean quantity.
Right. Quality.
Absolutely. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, dinner like a pauper. Why? Is because, I think society has it fixed that you need this big dinner.
Yeah.
But why are you going to eat that big dinner and just go to sleep?
Yep.
It sits on your tummy. Your body isn't able to do recovery because it's digesting.
Okay. So it sounds like, I guess you more 70-30 on breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Because it sounds like you're saying breakfast should be at least the biggest meal. Yeah. Or the most nutritious meal.
Especially if you have an active lifestyle.
Yeah, if you're, especially your type of lifestyle. You need
guys that are out there on the roof painting and stuff. You need something to keep you out, through the day while you're working. Yeah.
So next myth is carbs. Now we have, everyone that has been in the world of fitness has heard that carbs are absolutely bad for you, right? When we talk about like potatoes, bread, rice, pasta, like all of these high carb meals or items that we eat and we consume, are carbs bad for you?
Definitely not. I think the type of carb you consume, and depending on how your body processes it, is what matters. But carbs are your friend.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna call carbs up right now. What's up, bro?
Carbs are definitely needed.
Friend.
Yes,
you need it. The energy, the muscle building, they're necessary. The type of carb you choose is what makes the difference. Right. Whether it's a simple or a complex carb.
And that gives some definitions of both.
Some examples.
Examples of both.
You have, I'll make something pretty simple. Let's go white Wonder bread.
Okay.
Ezekiel bread. Different levels right there. We could go white cracker or spelt cracker. Just simple things that you can make a huge impact by changing.
So carbs are good. But carbs maybe in moderation. And definitely the type of carbs that you're eating.
White potato, sweet potato, totally different nutritional value.
Okay. So the next is the length of time that we work out, right? So some people think that we need to be working out like 2 hours in a day to have a good fitness level. Is true or false?
False.
Okay. What
time well, I think what matters is the intensity.
Right.
And basically what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
Because if you're fit, meaning, you've been working out and you're looking for a challenge, a 30-minute workout with me can get you where you need to be. No, it's going to be high intensity, high impact. We're going to get you sweating, get your heart rate up, and that's working good for you. But somebody that's just starting out, they need to take it slow. I've started a lot of sessions with new people or new clients that haven't done exercise or workout in years, since even before COVID hit. And I have to take it slow or else they'll meet their lunch.
Sure.
Again.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, length-wise, everybody has their own preferences, but you definitely don't have to burn out 2 hours.
Right.
It's all about staying focused and really, really putting the work in.
Depending on what your goals are, fitness goals are.
Yes.
Got you.
If you're a bodybuilder, you definitely are going to have to stay in there for a long time because you're hitting slow control reps.
Yep.
You're going heavyweight,
Yep.
But if you're looking to get a nice summer shred, boom, burpees, box jumps, med ball slams, you name it.
20, 30 minutes, you should be good.
That's it.
High intensity workout.
I'm telling you.
Got you.
It's something is better than nothing.
No, I got you. Got you. Absolutely. So another myth is has to do with not eating. So like a lot of people feel like if they fast and eat one meal a day, like they're gonna get to their fitness goals.
Wait, that's a tough one. A lot of people are gonna be like, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fasting. Don't get me wrong. I sometimes do a fast, but you have to know your body. If you wake up feeling stuff, if you ain't been on the toilet to let it out in a couple days, you need to fast. Bro. You need to fast. Clean yourself out. But saying that you're gonna every day starve yourself 18 hours and then eat a 600 calorie meal, it's not gonna be enough.
It's actually counterproductive, right? Because your body's gonna hold on to what you eat because it's going to go into starvation mode during the period that you're fasting.
Exactly. And what's particular about it is you will lose weight.
Yep.
But you're going to be losing muscle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've tried it, but no extreme fasting like that. A lot of people stand on it, but I find that they're off and on. Yeah. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, because I'll get to this part of it because there's something that like when we talk about like fasting or how we eat, like there's a certain mentality that you have to have, especially when it comes to fitness. But another myth that I want to dispel, this probably be the last one, is doing ab workouts, right? So people feel like, and I used to be like this. I used to like growing up, like when I first kind of got into fitness, my fitness journey, like doing ab workouts like every day, like 30 minutes on abs. I need to build my abs, get some abs, like get cut up or whatever. Let's talk about that.
So I'm huge on core work. I love doing the core, and just like any other muscle, if you work it and supported with the right nutrition, is going to grow.
Right.
So doing a lot of ab work will get your core more stronger, right? Yeah, more core stability, which is going to be good for your health,
right?
Good for your posture, but that doesn't mean that the abs
be shredded up, right?
That comes down to your nutrition, your activity level, your overall lifestyle,
right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, here's a quote that I heard that I've kept over the years, right? Abs are not made in the gym. Abs are made in the kitchen.
That's facts.
In the kitchen, guys.
That's facts.
So you can do these ab workouts all you want, be in there killing yourself on abs. But if you go home and you eat a bad meal, that's counterproductive.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, babe.
So I don't know if it's a myth, but this is something that, people say a lot, that I know that you're a vegan. Is that correct?
No.
Plant-based.
Plant-based.
Okay.
Yes.
So people believe plant-based or vegan food can be boring or it doesn't give you as much nutrition as you would need if you're eating like regular stuff. Is that a myth or?
I think it's a myth because when you look at it, and actually during that time of the spiritual awakening, I was doing a lot of searching, Dr. Sebi, this and that. I watched Game Changers, a bunch of athletes, testing out this plant-based journey and, seeing what it's like. And seeing how their bodies responded to it. And it was amazing. When you look at the animal kingdom, the hugest, strongest animals are herbivores, Yeah. And you get more nutrients. That's what the body really craves. Yeah. Nutrients to build cells and replenish. I think, I know because I've tested and tried and proved it that your body is much better on a plant-based diet. Not saying that, if you choose to eat meat, it's a bad thing, but a lot of people overdo it. They want to have bacon for lunch, chicken for dinner, steak for lunch, and those types of meats or foods they take a long time to digest. And a lot of we just don't give our bodies enough time to do what it needs to do. Our digestive systems are
always working overtime.
Overtime,
Especially on this Bahamian diet we have, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can 100% support a plant-based lifestyle. Now, again, based on your goals, you will have to figure out how many calories you need to eat. And plant-based, or I'd never call myself a vegan because that's a bit extreme.
Okay.
Because they don't even eat honey or anything animal.
Yeah.
We're in leopard, bro. What's going on? It's extreme.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out what macros you need, what foods you need to eat. I actually don't go in the food store and look for things labeled vegan. You have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be creative with your food.
There you go.
You can't want to order out and you're trying to be vegan. No, you have to whip it, dust off that kitchen stove.
Do it yourself.
And do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Try different things. That's the only way to really, really get it the best out of it.
Sure.
That's the only way.
Sure. Yeah, and what I wanted to say earlier, but I wanted to say for now, right? But it's simply that fitness is a lifestyle, right? I think when I began my fitness journey, like my mentality was like I want to look good to attract these females, right? And as I got deeper into my fitness journey, I started to realize, like, in order for me to reach the goals that I wanted to attain, I had to make it a lifestyle. So my diet became a lifestyle. My workout regime became a lifestyle. So it's to the point now where if I'm not working out, if I'm not eating good, like it's like I don't feel good, right? I start to feel bad. Like I remember when my wife and I first started dating, she was the worst eater, bro. Like she would have McDonald's for breakfast, McDonald's for lunch.
Don't say no breakfast.
Come on, babe. You used to go get the little McMuffin,
McGriddle.
Yes, McGriddle sandwiches and stuff. When you were working, is what I'm saying. So it's right across the street. Exactly my point.
Still slim, right?
Yeah, still slim. So she has a good metabolism, but eat horribly, right? But so when she and I started dating, because like I didn't eat what she ate. So for me, it was like I was super disciplined with what I ate. I didn't mind her eating what she ate. She thought I mind, right? So she used to like even lie to me, tell me about, I didn't have McDonald's today or whatever, but you used to have the McDonald's receipt or whatever, right? And I used to be like, well, Wendy's receipt too, right? But I don't eat a lot of fast food. I eat like a lot of vegetables and stuff. So she and I started dating, and she gradually like started to eat more along the lines of the way I eat, the way I ate, to the point now where like she doesn't eat like McDonald's anymore. She doesn't. She used to eat Kentucky a lot as well. If she eats Kentucky now, like her stomach gets upset. It's because it's become more of a lifestyle, right? And once you clean out all of that processed food or unneeded food, and you start eating a little healthier, like your body is going to adjust to that. And then when you try, or when you go back to maybe eating something that you shouldn't be eating, your body's going to tell you like, nah, man, we're rejecting this.
Definitely. It's all about training the taste buds. Anything that you practice, your body's going to adapt to it. That's the way the body is. And one thing you said in particular, there's a lot of people that think because I look good in the mirror, I can eat what I want. But we have to take our minds off the external and think about the internal. Because diabetes is killing out there. High blood pressure killing, high cholesterol killing, strokes are killing, heart attacks killing. My neighbor just died, man.
Oh, wow.
The other day.
Wow.
It's sad. So
man, condolences to him and his family.
Sad, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and I think, I just want to say here specifically, those of you or those of us who are on a fitness journey, and we have like this goal, this visual goal of what we want to see how we want to see ourselves look. advice is to put your blinders on.
Yep.
Right? We live in a social media world where like everything is in the front of us, right? And we see all of these figures on TV and social media of like how you should look or how you want to look, but you know, we don't know like the things these people go through, right? My wife and I were talking about this, like these fitness models, these female fitness models who, you know, profess to be like naturally building their bodies in the gym, but they're actually going to get these surgeries done, right, to make their bodies look away, and then they're selling it as if, you know, I did this because of the workouts that I did. Come join me in this so you could get this body, right? And it's killing this new generation, man. Even with men, right? You see these guys who are chiseled and buff and all of this, and you know, we've had like a lot of our prominent bodybuilders in the competitive industry losing their lives because of the use of steroids. Right? So I'm saying all of that to say, like, put your blinders on, right? And just focus on yourself, focus on your journey. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. It may take you 2 years, it may take you 3 years, could take you 6 months, like whatever that time period is. Focus on you, right? Because once you get to the point where you want to be, like you're gonna be so grateful for that journey, right? And you're gonna appreciate it so much more, and you're gonna be able to maintain it because you know exactly what it took to get there.
That's facts,
right?
And you're never gonna be satisfied.
Never.
That's why.
Promise you, like that's why the journey always.
That's why you continue to level up.
Absolutely.
Just keep going. You know, don't give up.
Nah, man, that's facts, bro. That's facts. And you know, I like switch it up. You know, and I mentioned on a couple pods earlier, like I was an avid gymmer. And I got tired going to the gym, and I needed to like try something different. So I connected with Theo and started to go to his level up classes. I worked out 4 times a week with him. And it's just for, you know, to shock my body and to do something different because I was getting a little monotonous in the gym, wasn't as motivated, and I just needed a fresh air. Got my wife out to join me, and she is an avid fitness workouter. No, she took a little break. She took a little break, but she's definitely fitness conscious or health conscious. And I think that's important for us to grow as individuals. Definitely. For sure. So any myths, like 1 or 2 myths that we haven't discussed that you hear a lot in your journey?
Wow. Blank.
That's fine. I mean, if you can't think of any.
Right up. Well, I mean, there's a lot that I want to say going back to, you know, just watching others and comparing yourself. You know, don't believe the lies. You know, all of our bodies are different. All of us have different circumstances. When we look at the stars, they have personal chefs. They can literally sit down and let someone spoon feed them. You know,
they got nutritionists.
They have all of these things at the snip of their fingers. So try not to get depressed because that's what it really is. Because you cannot be that person.
Focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself.
Put your blinders on.
What can you do to make your life better? You know, and
start small, man.
Anywhere.
Right? Don't try to go from today and then next week you trying to get the body that you want, because
that leads to now going and getting enhancements. You're looking for a quick fix, but I've witnessed people they go for the quick fix, come back, their lifestyle and habits aren't changed, so they end up shaping even worse. Like, hold on, what's going on? Like, you know? Absolutely. Well, Theo, man, thank you for joining us today. I think this hopefully, you know, we've been able to encourage those out there to start their fitness journey, or even to continue on your fitness journey. Or level it up. Challenge yourself.
Yes.
Get out of that comfort zone.
And I think also, don't just focus on your physical fitness. Keep your mental and your spiritual fitness in mind as well, because those are just as important. Okay, and I think that's exactly what Level Up speaks to. Right? Cool. All right. Well, Theo, thank you again for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Let's leave some contact information for folks who may want to get in contact with you.
Awesome. So you can hit me up on Instagram at levelup_Sancho. email me at levelupfitclub4 how can I forget that at gmail.com, or you can shoot me a WhatsApp or even call me at 242-808-1058.
Okay, so that's for all our listeners out there, for all of those of you who are watching us on our visual platforms. That information will be somewhere on the screen, maybe on the left hand side here, or on the top, or in the middle right here. But you definitely will be able to get in touch with Theo.
And just so you know, you get a free trial.
Okay.
I give everybody a free trial. Come and try it out. Put your foot in, make sure it's what you want. The water's warm,
yeah.
See where we're at.
Got you.
If you feel it, come on, join the club.
Yeah.
And Theo also does virtual training?
Yes.
Yeah, so for my international listeners, you can hit up Theo. He sends you you could actually go into a virtual class that he does, or he sends you a virtual program that you can do at home to accommodate not being here in the Bahamas.
No excuses. Yeah. Wherever you are. COVID did that,
Yeah, absolutely.
COVID brought that virtual experience, boom, right to your door.
And it's been flourishing ever since.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, thanks again, man, Theo. So this brings us to the point of the pod where I want to leave you with a milestone. Today's milestone is pretty simple. The best project that you can work on is you. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you're your biggest project. Ensure that you're doing what needs to be done to ensure that you're in the position where you need to be to fulfill purpose. Now, I say purpose can't be fulfilled if your physical mind isn't capable of moving or being active or being able to fulfill that purpose for your life. So your biggest project is you. So let's focus on us. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of the pod. Theo, thank you again for joining us, man. I really appreciate you being a part of it.
Maybe we could do a live workout one time.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take the challenge.
Let's do it.
I'll take the challenge. All right.
Group challenge.
Yeah, group challenge.
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe on a future pod, we'll be filming live from Level Up Studios.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
All right, Charles. So as you know, as always, the vision and goal for this pod is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist, always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. Until next time, you guys be blessed.